Today we're going to be here at Universal Studios, Florida, where we're going to have to time travel today. That's right, time travel. Hi everybody and welcome to the World of Micah. Today we're going to be talking about Back to the Future. Actually, we're going to be talking about Back to the Future Part 3, and we're going to take a closer look at how much original stuff remains on the time machine train. Now, let's take a closer look. May 25th, 1990, Back to the Future Part 3 is released in theaters, and the trilogy is complete. You see Doc and Clara and their boys, Jules and Verne, saying goodbye to Marty and Jennifer. They take off, and the screen says the end. Almost a year later, May 2nd, 1991, Back to the Future, the ride, opens here at Universal Studios, Florida. They had a huge opening day celebration with Michael J. Fox, Mary Steenburgen, Tom Wilson. They were all here. We're gonna find exactly where that celebration happened, and then we're gonna take a closer look at the Jules Verne train from Back to the Future Part 3, and we're gonna see what remains on the train from the movie. I have some photographs to use as reference, and hopefully we can see and crack the case on what Universal removed and what they actually kept on this prop. May 2nd, 1991, Men in Black Alien Attack was not here. All of this was nothing. I mean, it was just a bunch of trees. They actually used this area as a film set for the Swamp Thing. I did a video on that. The link's gonna be above. But right over here is where they had the opening ceremony for the grand opening of Back to the Future, the ride. You can see in this photograph, they had a huge sign, a clock tower, said Back to the Future, the ride, Universal Studios, Florida on it, a big stage where they had Tom Williams, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Universal Parks and Resorts. He was here introducing the cast that would pull up. Now, if you guys remember, if you've never seen this video, it's a really cool video. Shout out to Back to the Future headquarters for uploading this onto YouTube. They basically had a stage like right here in this area, and the train pulled in with Mary Steenburgen, Michael J. Fox, and Tom Wilson. They got out of the train. This was then when the train arrived here at Universal Studios for everyone to see. The train arrived, they got out, they had Tom Williams talking about how he went into the future, grabbed a newspaper from the next day, so it would have been, what, May 3rd, this was May 2nd. So he grabbed a newspaper into the future. Tom Williams, who knew that guy liked to time travel, told them that lightning would strike at this appropriate time, so everyone put on their safety gloves. They held on to this wire, and the lightning did strike the clock tower. It sent all the electricity, 1.21 gigawatts worth of electricity, straight to the Institute of Future Technologies, and that was the grand opening of Back to the Future, the ride. The whole cast stepped off the stage and started walking towards the ride. Unbelievable that they would let them walk through and go to the ride, which is right over there, now the Simpsons ride. But Tom Wilson, Michael J. Fox, and Mary Steenburgen walked to the ride. I believe they were one of the first to ride the attraction that day. So they would have walked all the way here, right into the attraction there. Imagine Michael J. Fox, let's just say Marty, Clara, and Bttf, all three walking through a crowd of people to head into this building here, which was Back to the Future, the ride. This was the Institute of Future Technologies. Pretty cool, all that happened here. I would have loved to have been there that day. Only I had a time machine. Oh wait, that's right, we gotta go down to the Jules Verne time machine train and the DeLorean's down here. Let's go down and see what remains on that train. Here it is, the Jules Verne train from Back to the Future Part 3. And see, they have a plaque here, the Jules Verne train featuring Back to the Future Part 3 and the closing scene of Back to the Future trilogy. Doc Brown has returned from 1885 in this time machine built from a steam engine. And they have a quote here. Hey Doc, where you going? Back to the Future? Nope. Already been there. Now let's start picking some things that are still on the train and things that have been removed. Now obviously the front of the train pretty much looks the exact same. And I'm using some reference photos I have from the film. Those lights right there, even the ELB in the front, look the exact same. Now, looking at further details down here, I think, no, everything looks pretty much dead on here in the front. I'm gonna show you guys a front shot of the train that I'm using for reference. Now what's cool is the flux capacitor is still here. Right up there is the flux capacitor on the train. It would light up in the film, and these would actually have big flames, like flames would shoot out the top of those. Pretty impressive. All right, let's look at some screen grabs from the film and see what matches up. Right about here is the angle we would have been looking at as the train pulled into the station. This little mechanism was spinning out of control, and there was an extended version of a cab back here that we will get into in just a moment. But this is what would the camera would have been really looking at as the train pulled up. There's been a few changes. Not much, just a few colors and things. So right here, you can see in the film, that door was open, and Doc, Clara, Jules, and Verne were all on the train, talking to Marty and Jennifer. Now looking over to the left of Doc, there used to be a box right there that has been removed. There were some wires all through here that were connected to that little hook right there. And then looking up to the top, those are not the original, I don't know what you would call those. They almost look like speakers that are going around in a circle up there. Those are not the original. Those are different than what's in the screen grab. You guys can see it again. Those look more like speakers. So there are some changes. You know, some small changes like that. Now there's a shot right here of Doc leaning down and handing Marty his gift, which was the photograph of them they took together in front of the clock tower. And this little mechanism right here that I'm pointing at, that thing is spinning at an incredible rate in the film, and it looks like it did in the film. Same color, same shape, same everything. I don't think that has been changed. Now underneath this area here, there's almost like some wings that come out when the train is taking off. You can see it in this photograph I'm showing you. It's coming out from right to the side, right next to this area of the door, so it would come out the bottom there. Looking underneath here, I don't see those wings. I'm gonna check the other side and see if they're there. Those don't look like they're still there, and on this door, that was not red underneath that plaque. Those were painted gold, so they've repainted that red. And obviously that plaque right there on the door was not there. Moved over to the opposite side of the train here. This is the same from the film, same color, same design, same everything. There's also a couch back here that most people don't know about. It's almost like in the shape of a heart right there, the red couch. Hard to believe that's the back of the train, but there was a piece of the train that has been removed. Rumor is it was destroyed when they moved the train here to Universal. I'm gonna show you guys exactly which part I'm talking about. So in the back of the train right here, they had an extended cab that you can see. This is the shot of the film when it took off flying and then took off to where the end credits popped up. That back part is no longer here. So what you're seeing is the front cab. There was an extended cab that almost had the same look as the back of this DeLorean, which this is not the screen used DeLorean. I've gone over that before. This is from Video Bob. This is a Video Bob DeLorean, but that's for another day. Right here in the back, that extended cab that you're seeing in the shot is no longer here. And the camera would have been looking at it was actually a mini model of the time machine train, but you can see the wings up here, and there were wings down here as well coming out from this train. And then the extended cab had those two backing parts with lights on them that you can see in the photograph as it's taking off. So there's only one section of this train still here, and looking at this, there's really no room for the wings on here. So I'm not sure where the wings would have actually sat. They would have been right in that area, and zooming in on it, looks like the mechanism that it would have been attached to is no longer there. But all of this is original, or it's a really, really good copy. So maybe, you know, it's been replaced since 1991 when it was placed here at Universal. But that little part up there I mentioned earlier has been updated and replaced. Now, the reason I know they used to have the extended cab with this train, check out this photograph. You can see, actually it's like a cardboard cutout of Doc, Einstein, Marty, and Biff standing in front of this train when they had it in a lower level, and I believe the train was back over where we showed the opening ceremony taking place. As you guys can see, they were promoting the animated series from 1991, but the extended cab was here in the park. It was here. It made it here to Florida, but now it's no longer here. I just want to know where it is, what happened to it. I feel like that's like taking the backside off of the DeLorean. You wouldn't do that. So why did they do that to the train? These are the kind of questions I have. So as far as I can see, that's about it as far as changes. Just a few minor colors, nothing too crazy. I was kind of expecting more, but it seems like besides the extended cab in the back and a few color changes on here, which I think they just replaced that whole door because they had to add that plaque. And the door doesn't open like it, you know, I don't believe it opens like it did in the film anymore, but maybe it does. Maybe this does actually lift up and go all the way up and back. It's a pretty heavy duty door. And then that piece up there was changed, and the wings obviously on the sides are no longer here. But that's about it. I mean, the flux capacitor is still here. Unreal. Unreal. Super glad we did this. Just to document it and have it out there for fans of the train. I feel like the train doesn't get enough love. The DeLorean gets all the love. The train doesn't really get as much love. Well, you guys, we took care of business here today at Universal Studios Florida. Checking out the Jules Verne train and seeing exactly what remains and what's been altered on this movie prop that doesn't get quite enough love, in my personal opinion. But I think our adventure for today has come to an end, which means it's time to say goodbye. If you enjoyed this episode, please click the thumbs up button the next time you are here at Universal Studios Florida. Tell them World of Micah sent you, and I will see you guys in a future episode. Until then, stay weird. Goodbye.